And I think we're live. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hi.
So, thanks for joining us. We got Marc Scheff here.
How's it going, guys? I'm posting this on Twitter right now.
On Twitter? Oh.
Awesome. I'm posting it everywhere. Fantastic.
Everyone should post it on Twitter.
I don't even have a Twitter. Or, I don't think I do.
We'll talk about that. That's another podcast. We'll talk about that later.
So we're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about art and fitness. This is our first episode, hanging out with Bear and Alan. My name is Alan. We're all freelance artists. Very important. I live out of Bonnie Lake, Washington right now. Burgeoning artist breaking into the industry. This is it for me, Bear.
I'm Bear Isles. I'm a studio artist, hopeful. Spend most of my time here in Nashville working out of my garage on large acrylic paintings I love very much. I'm a former college swimmer and coach, so I'm very excited to have this conversation here with Marc about being an artist and implementing fitness in our lives.
Yeah.
I'm Marc Scheff, and I've done a lot of things. I started my career as a computer scientist coder and went back to art school and started doing illustration work and worked in video games for a while and did some graphic design and creative direction and art direction and kind of bounced around, still bounce around a lot. Now my main focus is teaching. I teach at Smart School. I teach intro illustration class. I teach through Drawn and Drafted, and our new website, which you can go sign up for, it's called Make Your Art Work. It's all focused on artists and careers and getting that stuff off the ground. And I'm moving also my work into gallery work. So I've had a few shows and group shows, and I have a show here in New York in October. Really excited with Ray's Contemporary Gallery, and I'm totally freaking out about I can't see it because it's all on the floor here, which is by design. You can't see it yet, but there's a lot of the whole show is here. So if you're watching, this is it behind me. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and and I'm sort of a fitness. I have a passion for fitness, and really developed that passion over the past few years into some systems that have really worked for me and other people. I've signed up as a Beachbody coach, which basically means I'm a customer who really likes their stuff and I can sell it to other people. And I've had some people sign up for that, which has been really helpful for them. And yeah, we can talk more about all that.
Yeah. So we're here because you posted an article. I don't know how many years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, The Art of Fitness on Muddy Colors, which you can find a link to in the event page or on the YouTube page.
Yep.
And that, I think, got a lot of people into fitness. And it really, I think, was the only article that talked about getting freelancers, which is a really a sit-down career, out and active or in and active, and making no excuses about health.
Yeah, it was something that I approached Dan Dos Santos, who runs the blog Muddy Colors. I approached him and said, I've been thinking about writing this article for myself, but it seems like the audience who really needs this is your audience. What about we post it on your site? And he liked the idea, so he posted it for me. But the idea was that I knew a lot of people like me who worked from home or worked at at the time I think I was maybe working at a game studio or just getting out of a game studio, and it's a very sedentary career, or can be. And I see a lot of people like me, getting a little bit older, sort of things are starting to get creaky and kind of going, oh well, I guess that's it, and I'm like, I don't want that, like I've always been interested in fitness. I've always liked feeling good, looking good. Those two things typically go hand in hand, and so I decided that I was gonna take matters a little bit into my own hands, and so I wrote that article about what I did, which was essentially find a system that worked for my, I don't know what you want to call it, my stay-at-home lifestyle. I needed something that had a low barrier to entry. I needed something that I wasn't going to talk myself out of, that I wasn't going to say, I'll just do it tomorrow. And going to the gym, it cost money. It was, the gym that I went to was like less than a 10-minute walk probably. And that still was kind of enough for me to say, I'll get to it tomorrow, because it's 10 minutes there and then getting ready and then doing stuff. And I kind of knew what I was doing just from years of kind of going to the gym sort of, but I would take months. So it just wasn't working. And I decided, so that's the doorbell. Screw it. Sorry, I didn't turn that off. But so what I did was, I was telling you guys before, the David Allen book, Getting Things Done. He talks. I don't know if he says this in the book so much. He says, basically the system that works for you is going to be the system that you actually use. So right. I had systems that work, but just not for me. And so I needed to figure out what was in my way, and more importantly, I needed to figure out where I was already. How could I put fitness basically in my way? So I remember, like, when I was in high school, the first time that I really kind of got in shape was over this one summer, and my body was developing at the time too, just sort of naturally because of puberty. And I had a pull-up bar, and I just said, okay, I'm going to do 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups every time I go in and out of my room. That's just my barrier. That's the barrier to my room. I just did that. And at the end of that summer, God, I can't tell you, I came back to school and people were like, holy shit, like I was jacked. So that's basically what I tried to do here. Was I said, okay, what can I find? And I found these, workout at home systems, and I totally had a chip on my shoulder about it. I think of, like, Jane Fonda in the 80s and, like, sweating to the oldies with, all that stuff, Richard Simmons. And I'm like, this is kind of a joke, but, I started doing some of these workouts. I tried a few of them. I found one I really liked and think is really, really good. And I've been just sticking with that pretty much ever since. And it's, I haven't stopped seeing what we call gains in the fitness industry in various ways. I've tried, I do the Beachbody workouts now, and I've tried some of the more sort of bulking versions. Those work. I've tried the slimming versions, those work. I do T25 now, which is kind of a combination of strength and cardio. And I've seen just what my body can do. I've seen it just metrically improve over the past 3 years. I'm 40 and a half years old now, and I can do things that I just couldn't do, in my early 30s, and it's incredible to me. So,
and that's totally different from, like, Bear, who were you swimming since high school?
I was swimming since my mom could chunk my baby body into the water. But I had a similar approach to the gym as Marc. I hated going to the gym when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, and all these footballers around me were getting big and strong, but I'd go to the gym with my dad, and all I wanted to do was just stay at the pull-up bar for about an hour, and I'd do pull-ups, push-ups, whatever I could do with my body weight, because I didn't want to touch any weights. And what I really like about Marc's approach is you started simple. Even after The Art of Fitness, you introduced that article, and you're just doing your home workouts easy, and now you've kind of evolved your interest in fitness, and you're doing a little more complicated things, but nothing crazy. Just you're still maintaining that healthy level of fitness without blowing up in the gym or anything crazy like that.
No, the weights. I mean, you can see. I think maybe I have a set of adjustable weights here, but I don't think I use anything more than 12.5 pounds for my strength workouts, just because they're, I'm doing them with these videos, and you really don't need more than that. I mean, I think you're right, Bear, and you're a testament to this, just body weight stuff. And a lot of the workouts that I have for, like, if I'm traveling, hotel rooms, whatever, it's all body weight stuff. And it's, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing when I wrote that article. I'd only done body weight stuff, and you can go to the article and look. You can see the improvement. So you don't need a gym. You don't need weights. I have a rug here that's probably 5 by 7 feet, and, like, that is all you need. This.
I love that the studio is the gym for you. Like that. That is the dream for everyone.
I mean, it's sort of. I think my brother's like, maybe you should leave the studio sometimes. You're going a little stir crazy. But like I said, it's not for everybody. Like, some people you go put it in another room, whatever you need to do. Yeah. But you guys impressed me too with what, Bear, especially what you're doing with you have some kind of degree in this now, right? Or something?
Yeah, so I swam for 4 years in college, NCAA Division II. Yeah. After that, I moved on, same school. I accepted an assistant coaching position. And while I pursued coaching, I also got a master's degree in sport and human performance. I figured, going to be coaching, I need to know what I'm actually talking about. And my passion just kind of exploded from there for training. And it's just, I really love taking athletes and making them into great athletes, like prescribing those programs and seeing it all come together through hard training. Something about it is just fantastic to me. But knowing all of those specifics and the science behind it, it's the same for painting. Like, since I've known Alan and I've been introduced to all these great artists, learning more about the science behind the painting. It applies the same to the science behind the training. The more information you know about it, the more you can do with it.
Right. Otherwise, you end up like your Darth Vader suddenly. You know, like if you don't have the proper training, if you're just kind of like this wild Jedi, like you're just, the dark side's going to get you. You're going to pull something. It's terrible.
Exactly.
And
there's so
or you'll
much...
end up like wasting time. Like you might go and do a workout, and because of the lifestyle you live after, you're not fully aware of what you're doing, then you might just be wasting your energy, you know,
or hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I'm kind of, this is neat for me because I knew Bear through college, and 4 years of college of him working out and talking to me about fitness and training. And I remember him always coming into school to paint and barely being able to move because he was so sore. And then reading later on about what you were doing at your home, Marc, and it's really cool for me to get these two inspirations, personal and professional, together in one place to talk about fitness, what I do. I try and do every day, and probably not as much as either of you, but it's become a very.
I don't know, man. You go to the gym every day?
About 4 times a week when I can do it. I just took 2 weeks off, but
good for you. I can't do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
I can't do it. I mean, I think so. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think we are coming at it from like a bunch of different perspectives. I'm excited. I mean, you and I, we don't have to like reveal too much, but you guys and I are talking about putting together some fitness programs for folks, for artists. And that excites me a lot, in part because we have these different perspectives. You know, I'm coming from the, you know, the artist, you know, parent of 2 kids and someone who has like literally zero time. You know, Bear, you literally have a degree in this stuff, and you know, Alan, you're a testament to the fact these programs can work even if you're just coming up as an artist and like you really just want to put all your time into painting. But
if I end up talking to another artist about fitness, I don't want to be an asshole about it, but one thing that I'll tell them is like, oh yeah, I go to the gym and then I'll work for 12 hours a day painting, you know? And that's a good segue into like, how do you guys, I mean, we wanted to talk about how fitness influences and benefits the work that you do in your art career.
Sure.
Right. And I know,
moving into that, I think first we need to kind of define why being a freelance artist, an illustrator, painter, you know, Marc locked in the studio all day, that's kind of bad for your health. I mean, if you sedentary the entire day, that's going to eventually deteriorate your body.
Yeah, if you really want to get, I'll say this, if you want to get scared of your lifestyle, I don't care if you're thin. A lot of people who work at computers all day and desks all day can be thin people. I know a lot of tech guys, thinnest people I know, because they're underfed. Yeah, look at the the cons of sitting for 8 hours for years and years. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, I've read enough articles that like sitting, it's basically worse than smoking, like, which also you shouldn't do. But yeah, everything I've read is just, you know, it's scary. So there's all the things that people say to do, which are true. You know, which we're obviously not going to do right now. But you try to get up every 20 minutes, half an hour, just, you know, walk to the bathroom, do something where you're moving things around. I go to an acupuncturist, and I'm big into just that. I don't know. I feel like it's basic common sense in a way. If you want stuff to be healthy, you have to keep stuff moving. So for me, we mentioned this just before, I'll put my workout, because my workout's only 20-25 minutes. Technically they're 25. I don't always finish the video. That should tell you how easy it is to stay fit. Yeah. But you know, I try to eat right, and I do that. I try to walk around every 20 minutes, half an hour. My studio's on the top floor, so I will actually go downstairs to the fridge and grab like a small, you know, I keep actually I make a lot of like these big things of tuna fish, and I'll just get like a scoop of tuna fish, which I love. That kind of simple stuff where you make it really easy for you to make good decisions in bad situations. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like starving and I run downstairs, I don't have ho-hos and Twinkies sitting around. I've got like, you know, lunch meat and tuna fish and oranges and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's right. That the thing that's within easy reach is the thing I'm going to eat. And so I end up eating the right stuff just because that's what I buy. If you buy that other stuff, spoiler, you're going to eat it. You know,
absolutely.
You know, and that's the thing. So this is a great story. So Scott Fisher, you guys may know, is another artist. So I went up to his house when we were doing filming for the Temple of Art book and movie, and I walk in and I gave him a hug goodbye, and he's like, "Hey, like you're like a rock, like you're working out or something," and I was like, "Ha ha ha," and he's like, "What do you mean ha ha?" I'm like, "I just written this article on Muddy Colors." I'm like, people are teasing me about this. He's like, "I haven't seen it." I'm like, "Yeah, go check it out," and he's like, he read it, didn't say anything to me about it. Meanwhile, we're at his house and like his counter. First of all, he's a cake plate like on the counter. Like, yeah. Sorry, Scott, I'm busting you out.
Sorry, Scott.
He's got like a cake plate, and it's like like a tray of croissants. I'm like, we maybe get a croissant for my son once a week. Like, we don't have a tray of croissants just to grab. So he read this article 2 months later. I saw him. He lost 20 pounds. He hadn't done any exercise. He had literally just stopped eating that stuff, and his body just responded to it. Obviously, not everyone's going to lose 20 pounds in 2 or 3 months just by changing their diet. But diet is really we can talk about this. Diet is really the key to all this stuff. But it's just amazing to see how just a few tweaks to making just some better decisions about getting up, walking around, maybe throwing some push-ups in your day, whatever it is. These small things can add up. And like, he didn't lose 20 pounds in a week. But they can't, and he was just, now he's actually, he was doing some at-home workouts. Now he actually he's like so into it. He goes to a gym now. He's a trainer. Like, it can be addictive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think it's very important to I think if nobody leaves this podcast or this video with anything else, it's important to understand that you don't have to put yourself through hell to be healthy. That goes back to what you were saying about what works for you. And for Scott, he's not eating as many cakes, as many sugars, as many carbs or something, and like he probably isn't depressed because of that. I mean, he's still eating good food, right?
I've just pictured Scott Fisher in his house just shoving cakes in his mouth all day.
No.
But he went from literally looking a little like he was getting on. He was at a beard. I was like getting on, looking a little bit like Santa Claus. Now he is
tough. Now
his words. He's Gandalf with a six-pack now. He's got it going.
Okay, yeah, he's a big guy now.
Well, I think there's more to gain than just fitness from these training methods, and I've seen it in my art, and I've definitely seen it in Alan's art. As you train, there's benefits that affect your art too.
All right, that was the question. Sorry.
And well, it all comes together. The number one thing I've noticed is more energy and focus. Really, like I can take what I've done in the gym and then go work on a painting, and I'm completely in the painting. I have the energy, the time, the focus to do what I need to do on it.
Right. Yeah. When I go, okay, I'll put it this way. When I started working out, I within 2 months instantly saw a boost in my art. You can go back, I think, on my Facebook page and see a difference between 2014 when I wasn't working out and then scroll to 2015 when I was, and there's actually a clear definition between when I wasn't and when I was. And I can say today that if I skip the gym and it's not a rest day and I know I was supposed to go, and it's not, I don't know, it's not disappointment in myself or anything, but if I skip the gym, I'm out of my desk like every 10 seconds. I'm going to Facebook. I'm looking for something to eat, like McDonald's, and just I'm not as good of a person.
No, it does bring focus. And if you look, there's a Facebook group that I started, which I don't know, I think you guys are on there, maybe called Freelancer Fitness, or I think it's Freelance Fitness. Anyway, you can find it. It's an open group you can join, but we talk a lot about that kind of stuff there, and I found a number of scientific studies. So there was a study that they did. I don't know who they are, but they did this study, and they had folks do some moderate exercise, literally like going for a walk, for 20 minutes, and some people just sort of sit there and I don't know, read a book or something, and then they gave them all creative exercises, and without fail, the folks who had done the 20-minute walk had more focus. And also came up with more creative solutions. The test that they gave them, one of the tests that they gave them was, they said, list all the ways you can use a pencil, and the people who had just sitting there, they're like, well, you can write with it, you can draw with it. And the other people were like, you could use it to make like a helicopter. You could use it as a spear, like all kinds of different ideas, which you think isn't really, it's like a nothing thing. But I can tell you that, and I just want to emphasize for people too, because I know some people watch this, they're like, well, you guys are going to the gym and working out. A 20-minute walk is exercise. Walking is arguably one of the best forms of exercise. You just have to do a lot of it. But like, I was just doing my little 20-minute workout right here just before the show, and I was looking down at this work, and I came up with, I think, what might be a game changer idea for my work, and I'm excited to actually do some of this stuff and show it off in the next couple of months, and it may change everything. And I just wouldn't have come up with it if I was just sitting here, just doing the work. It's about taking breaks is important, but taking breaks and getting those juices flowing. And I don't have the science for it. I've looked it all up and I figured it out, and then I forgot it because I don't want to remember.
It takes one Google search to find.
One Google. It's not that hard to find. Yeah.
No, I do cardio. I do the elliptical about 20 minutes when I go to the gym, and I can honestly say that I have had compositional breakthroughs in those 20 minutes, because what else are you going to do? You're walking a little fast, and all you can do is your mind is working. It's almost like you're not even doing it. You're just thinking. And I can say, and I know some people that would say the same thing, that the gym is basically meditation for your brain.
Absolutely.
Marc said, get the juices flowing, and that's literally what you're doing to your brain. Consistent training alters your brain chemistry, and you're going to be more functional throughout the day. I mean, it's just how it works.
Darwin and Freud, I think, were both famous for and Darwin especially, these very long walks that they would go on every day. I think Darwin walked for like 3 hours a day. Like he would go, he lived with his mother. Surprising.
Had to get away from her.
I think it was Darwin. Maybe Freud lived with his mother. That would make more sense.
Freud.
But Darwin, he would go on these like long walks, and he came up with his whole theory of evolution on the course of these walks.
Well, I've read whoever they are, did a study, and they found that if you get moving and your metabolic rate increases, then it actually makes your body believe. It kind of puts it in a subtle fight or flight mode where your brain is working and making decisions faster and better.
Interesting.
Because you've told your body that, oh, it's time to go. This is what I'm going to experience, and I need to be prepared for that. I mean, you can even see it. If you go on your 20-minute walk and then instantly eat something, your body will actually digest that faster because it needs the nutrients to get to your body, your brain faster.
Well, it's funny. Alex is on the YouTube public channel thing, and he or she asked how our diets have changed. I think that's a great point. And my diet, I can say the thing that has changed the most about my diet is just that I have thought more about it, and there are things that I have decided mostly not to eat or when to eat. Like I have a slice of pizza, once a month now, probably. I do still have a slice when I feel like it, but I've changed my pattern to feel like it less. I don't have bagels every day. There's those kinds of things, but the schedule is important, like you said. I have a certain schedule. I've experimented with lean intermittent fasting, where I don't eat between 8 p.m. and noon the next day, which you think, oh, that's crazy. And certainly the first couple of weeks in the morning, you're hungry because you're used to eating then. But after that first couple of weeks, there were some days I wouldn't even eat till like 3 p.m. the next day. And I've scheduled my workout in the middle of the day for the reason that you say, Bear, because I'll get up in the morning, I'll walk my son to school. I've kind of got that walk in, and I get some stuff done in the morning. And then around 11:30 or noon, I need that 20 minutes I do mostly sort of high-ish, and I'm 40 now, so it's like high-ish intensity workouts, and that is enough to get my juices flowing for the rest of the day. So the thing that's changed the most probably is my schedule, and the fact that I'm really thinking about when and how I'm eating. I mean, everyone's schedule you could be the kind of person who eats 6 small meals a day. I don't care what it is, just think about it. And it's also about what I'm eating. So in the article that I posted, I think I talk a little bit about it. Like when I first started doing this, I was really very intentional. I worked very, very well with like very strict limitations. So really, like the first thing I was doing was kind of along the lines of the Tim Ferriss 4-Hour Body, like slow carb diet. I mean, I was eating like a lot of lentils and eggs and spinach and garlic, and like that was kind of it. Like I would have that 2 meals a day probably, and then some meat and veggies, and maybe like this much rice. at night, and like that was it, just to sort of see what would happen. And you can see that had an effect. And then I would kind of expand from there, but I was very, very intentional about what was going in, so that I could see what the results look like. When I incorporated a new food, I could see very quickly over the course of a week or two what effect that would have on my energy, on my workouts. And I'm thinking about all this while I'm also, I'm also doing all this other stuff. It sounds like a lot of time, but really, like, it actually made things easier. When I would go to the grocery store, I didn't spend a lot of time walking around going, well, what should I? I bought chicken, I bought fish, I bought broccoli, spinach, garlic, and like, that's kind of it. Like, if there was ever anything where I was like, well, should I get that? Then the answer was no. Like, if it was like, well, is this good or no? If it's a vegetable, it's a pretty easy, yeah, sure, I'll throw in a new vegetable or a fruit or something. But like, if it's like, pancakes, probably not.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for me. My thing was, I think coming out of art school, starting to work out, I needed near immediately more calories than I was eating. And you would be, if you're in school right now, you would be incredibly surprised how expensive food gets when you're eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. Like, you don't really have a choice to buy like the super expensive chips or the like pre-made pizzas and stuff.
You need to count. You
need to count like your money and your calories, and it's like, oh, eggs are a lot cheaper than chips. So, but no, I make food habits. I make 1 or 2 giant portions a week because cooking that much food is ridiculous.
It's
and
so
then
smart.
I just ration them out.
Just keep it in the fridge. Yeah.
Yeah, keep it in the fridge. And it actually helps me because it's less time that I'm cooking or looking for something to eat away from my art, and then I just eat and I go back to it and I'm ready to go. So
one thing, yeah, so I would do the same thing where I cook like just a bunch of chicken breast, because I like cooking one every day is like time, but if I cook like 10 on Sunday, it stays well in the fridge. I'll even cut it up all on that first day, so I'll toss it in with some super greens or kale and spinach for a salad, and I'll even cut up a bunch of vegetables, carrots, celery, broccoli, cucumber, whatever, just for a salad.
Right.
And then I go in the fridge, boom, 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 I got a salad. My favorite thing, this will change your salad game, folks, is scoop of hummus, or my favorite is half an avocado or 2. You throw that in, little oil and vinegar, and then you like literally like kind of mush it all up with the salad, and it becomes this like salady, mushy, like it's not mushy, it's still crunchy, but it's like it's really spread out, and it's like it's got all that avocado, which is really great kind of fat for you guys.
So I'm gonna call Bear out. He has a leg up on our previous unnutritional lifestyle because his mom was a swim coach and is also a cook, right?
Yes, massively. Well, first, someone asked a great question about drinks. We'll get to that next. But I'm kind of an oddball when it comes to eating because I'm constantly trying to gain. Like right now, I'm in the middle of transitioning from power training to going to straight Olympic lifts for the next few months. So I'm just eating everything possible. But with my wife, we have her training high cardio. A few of my friends. The most important thing I can think of is portion control. Especially coming from the South, eating soul food, you get huge plates of everything and you eat all of it. But what you really need to think about is eat until you're satisfied, not full, your tummy doesn't hurt, just eat until you're happy with it. And then, you can have snacks throughout the day, and that's okay as long as they're not bags of chips, maybe some cashews, maybe. I had a friend in college, one of my teammates, one of his snacks was just literally eat half an avocado.
That's my snack.
So some people dig that, but it's a great snack. It's a healthy fat. It's really good.
I like half an avocado with, literally just like half an avocado with a spoon, like I put on salt, little nutritional yeast if I've got it around, and honestly like a little hot sauce. Just scoop that out. It's like it's really good. And I know it's like to a lot of people that sounds like, oh, this is like it's all this like stupid greens, but like it is it is delicious. I got to tell you guys, I just texted Scott Fish. I'm like, you guys, you got to get on here. We're talking about you. He said he missed it, but he was going to skip the gym today, and now he's going. So you're already having a good influence. That's
all right. We got off a lot on
Fantastic.
nutrition, which is important, is incredibly important. But I would like to say, as another perspective on that is, if you start cutting let's say pre-made foods like chips and heat up meals and things like that, and
Processed
stop
foods.
going out to eat. If you cut those things out, you will and start making your own meals. You'll A, save money, and B, you will become a very good cook very quickly, and you'll impress a lot of people.
Yes. So drinks. Again, I eat and drink everything, but the question, our specific question was, you've talked a lot about different food changes. What about the drinks that you consume? Wouldn't an increase in water also help with diet? The answer to that is yes. I drink probably 10 or 12 of these bottles a day.
Yep.
But,
yeah, I've got mine.
I'm a person that only drinks coffee and water pretty much, and liquor every now and then.
Right.
Yep.
Soda, you can cut soda out of your life, you know.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about. When you cut things out, you actually find, and I've found, and let me know if you guys feel the same, that soda, after about a month off of it, tastes terrible sometimes. You know, like I can't really have a Coke.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, things like that. Like I can't
and,
really.
You know, if you want something sweet, yeah, I'd recommend
things become sweeter.
Get a pack of Gatorade. Drink half a Gatorade a day. That's your sugar. Like
my favorite sweet drink now. I drink a lot of sparkling water. I have a little SodaStream sparkling water maker, so I'm not paying for sparkling water. I mean, it's a lot cheaper. So I'll make a bottle of sparkling water. I'll put in, you know, for a glass like this. I don't know how many ounces it is, but a glass like this, you know, I'll put in probably that much lemon juice. And probably the same amount of like a tart cherry juice or whatever you want, grapefruit juice, and then the rest sparkling water. It tastes better than any soda. Like I don't want soda anymore. I've got this stuff. It's got natural sugars because it's organic natural fruit juice or whatever. It's better than soda. And this is also something that we talked about earlier. So I know people watching this going, okay, well I can do all of that with the soda. Here's the thing. You can drink soda. You're not gonna lose weight.
Right.
If you want to lose weight, you have to stop drinking soda.
Soda is as bad for you as smoking.
So it's like you're like, well, I want to get in shape, but I don't want to do all those things. I'm like, great. Well, then you don't really want to get in shape or be that healthy, which is fine. That's totally your call. Right. But don't ask me to find ways around it. Like, yeah, you can work out more. Still, like working out and diet are these two different things. You can't work out past a shitty diet. So if you're going to drink soda, there's just a level that you're not gonna get to, and maybe that's fine for you. Like maybe you're not at risk for diabetes or whatever, and that's okay. I know guys who are very fit who drink soda. Everyone's got a thing. I've got my own thing. Some which I could talk about. But soda is not one of them. I stopped drinking soda. And it's not a thing.
There are a million. That might even be not a hyperbole. There are a million different. Things that will tell you, oh, if you do this one thing, you can eat and drink whatever you want. It's perfectly fine. And it's not, you know, that might be true for like one person out of 1,000. But and you got on something. Mark Manson is a big advocate for this. Is if you're not willing to put forth the effort in the gym and feel that struggle, then you really don't want it. And it, you know, going back to art. That's one way that it's directly influenced my art is if I can go to the gym and struggle harshly for something that I want and something I feel that's important to me, then it's directly influenced my painting because the same outlook has benefited me there too.
Absolutely. That's such a good point.
I've become the person that can push through barriers and I can do it in my painting too.
I think what artists especially need to realize is to be a successful artist in any field of art, it is 100% on you. And it takes all the dedication you can muster up. And it's the same when it comes to your health and fitness. Like no one can do it but you. You can't make your art succeed unless you are 100% in, and you can't make these fitness goals succeed unless you're 100% in. And that's the way that kind of can make the transfer in philosophy.
Yeah, but again, it's like 100% can look like a lot of different ways. The thing that was keeping me off of this stuff or kind of half-assing it was that, or what I really discovered was like I was putting in 20 minutes a day. Most of the time that 20 minutes was thinking about going to the gym. But if I could have something right here for myself, and that could just be a pull-up bar or just push-ups. for whoever, or just going for a walk. Like, honestly, going for a walk, I keep coming back to this, but like, if you're out there and you're listening and you're like, this all sounds great, except for I don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to think that much about my diet or whatever. Like, just keep it really simple. Go for a walk once, you go for a walk a couple times a day. Just take all the junk food out of your closet or out of your fridge, and just have other stuff in there. Don't have you processed food. It's like very simple things you can do.
Yeah, let's talk about incentives and goal setting. Like, what incentivizes you to go to the gym today?
Vanity.
Okay, that's good.
That's fair.
I mean, honestly, that's really what it was at the start. Because I'm like, I'm coming up on 40, and I want a photo of myself at 40 looking like, I think about Brad Pitt in the movie Troy, and he was about 40 when he did that movie. And they were like, oh, we'll get a stunt double, whatever. And I was reading about it. He was like, no, screw that. He's like, I want to look the part. And so he worked out. I mean, he worked out probably a lot more than I ever did. You think about Hugh Jackman in the last couple of X-Men movies. I mean, he looks better than fucking any 20-year-old. He's 50. He looks better. If you look at the progression of him as Wolverine, like when he did Wolverine in X-Men, he was like 30 years old, and he looked pretty good. Like, he was in shape, fine. You look at him in Days of Future Past, and the guy is shredded. He also talks about how much it sucks to look like that, because you have to be super dehydrated. But he was in much better shape regardless, and continues to be.
So I think you just made a great point, and something we need to quickly debunk is, a lot of people go to websites like bodybuilding.com and all these places, and they see the models that are just ripped to shreds and glistening in all the photos. But in reality, when they go to those photo shoots, they are horrifically dehydrated. They've shredded their body down to an unhealthy state, and they only maintain that for a few days. After that, all of that bloats back out, and they go back to training. Like, that's not a realistic thing, and I want people to really understand that.
Yeah, there's a couple of good graphics out there that you can find very easily, where they show two physiques, and one is like the super shredded, ripped, bodybuilder, and one is kind of like a bigger, kind of beefy guy with a lot of muscle, and they're like, this guy can actually do more. Because this other guy's dehydrated. He's actually at his weakest right now because he doesn't have all the nutrients that he needs to sort of be filled out. This other guy's more functional. He's going to be able to go for a longer run. He's going to be able to lift more. He's going to be able to go further. So I've actually come, not going to say full circle, but like I maybe not, my body fat for a little while was hovering around 10%, which I looked great. But I don't think quite as functional as I could be. Now I'm actually between 12 and 13% most of the time. I have a body fat scale. Nice. So that's sort of generally where I am. And I'm telling you, I can do things that I couldn't do, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I feel that. I get extremely excited. That's how I can jump back into incentives. I get excited whenever I can like show or use my new strength or my new endurance. Like, if there's a job that needs doing, I can know 100% that I'm capable of doing it, because of the work that I put into the gym. And that's, what incentivizes me to go to the gym is like goals like that. Like, I want to say to yourself, I want to be able to lift 200 pounds is actually a feat that not many people might accomplish on their own. And it's important to understand that. Yeah. It's not just a workout. It's a feat that you can now do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you, Bear? I know that you're doing a lot of swimming. Like, I'm just curious what your goals are.
My goals are a little odd right now. In the gym, currently my number one goal is to do a one-arm pull-up, which I'm nearing on every week. But long-term, my wife and I coach Special Olympics here in Nashville, and we coach swimming, and I've been getting in the pool with the kids and kind of getting the feel for the water again. So my fitness goals are working towards competing again within the next year. At least in swimming. But besides that, I think following what Alan said, strength is always functional. Like, I'm moving in 2 weeks, I got to pick up a fold-out couch. Like, strength is always functional.
Yeah, I got one for you. So a year ago, actually in Nashville, I went down to visit my brother, and we did this the Spartan race.
Yeah.
3-mile, 3-4 mile race through the woods, and it's an obstacle course race. So there's like, you got to climb stuff, you got to lift stuff, you got to throw a spear. It's it's fun. You're not really running 3 miles. I mean, you like run to the next thing and then do the thing. You run to the next thing, and it's hard. And I did okay on it. I did one a couple weeks ago, and I'm just gonna say I'm really proud of my results, and I can see. I could see the improvement. I hit more of the obstacles on my own. There was stuff that I was able to do, some monkey bar stuff that just like, I just remember getting on the rope, like you have to climb up this rope. And I remember the first time I got on the rope in Nashville, less than a year ago, and was like struggling to get up the rope. I'd use my legs, and I was like, I had to use technique. And I got on the rope this time, and I started to put my leg in, and I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I'm just going up the rope. Like, this is crazy. Like,
oh, yeah.
like you could feel the difference. In fact, Bear, I challenge you. The Nashville Sprint is coming up September 23rd. I have the website open right here.
All right.
And I would love to see you. I would love to see you do it. If I could even get down there for it, I would consider it. But it's
I'd love it if you came.
This is my incentive now. and I get into these things and ask any of my friends. They're probably laughing. Like, I start a new thing, I get really excited about it, I get really into it. Maybe I leave it behind. Maybe I don't. Fitness, I've just kept doing. This I've really enjoyed. So I did the sprint in Nashville. That's a 3-4 mile one. I just did an 8 to 10. It was 8.5 mile race in Pennsylvania. It was up and down a ski mountain. It is literally the hardest physical challenge I think I've ever faced in my life. And I did. I haven't told anyone this. This is the first I've talked about it in public. I have signed up for one of the even harder ones, and I don't know how I'm going to do. I have it in my head that I really want to do well, though. Like, and so I'm really, when I'm actually doing my 20 minutes, I'm not doing any more workouts. But when I do my 20 minutes, I'm like putting it in because I want to be able to get better at doing those things. For myself, I want to. I did pretty well. I want hey, like how well could I do at one of these things? And when you do these Spartan races, they actually, I don't have downstairs. They actually give you these medals, and they're like really nice medals. If you finish, you get one of these medals. And if you finish the 3 different sizes, you get like the medals fit together. It's called a trifecta, and it's special. And like, there's no money, it's back to vanity. Like, I want to be able to say that I did this cool thing. Like, I just did basically like almost half a marathon up and down a mountain carrying half the time carrying like a bag of rocks. Like that's cool for me. Whatever it is for you, it doesn't have to be that. But I also saw, oh man, I mean, and I'm not even that badass. Like, I saw a group, there's people do it in teams. I saw a team of people, one of whom was in a wheelchair. So this person in the wheelchair was doing some rolling around, and the rest of the time, their team was carrying them. I'm having a hard time. Like, I walked a lot of this race because I'm like, it's out in the hot sun. It's up a mountain that's like this steep. I'm like, fuck this, run it. I'm not running up this thing. And like, these people are carrying someone in a wheelchair. So like, there's always someone who's going to be better than you. So for me, it's about competing against myself. My goals are always about my own, like James Clear talks about. James Clear's a great sort of inspirational writer, talks about habits a lot, and he talks about the 1% improvement plan. Like, if I can be 1% better than the day before or the last workout, in a year, I forget what the math is. I'm gonna be like 1,000% better. Like, how crazy is that? Like, it's just 1% every time. It's not that much.
Yeah. That's great. And I think that plays into the evolution of where you started. Like, do you think you would have pictured yourself doing these races when you first started doing your little studio workouts? Like,
no, in fact, the guy who was trying to get me to do them, I was like, that's cool. I'm just not, that's just, he's like, and she's like running down the street with a 20-pound vest on. I'm like, I can't do what you do. But he convinced me to do it, and it was fun, and it's doable. And I didn't get all of the things right, and I finished, in an okay time, but not great. And I've done better this year. I did 2 of them this year, and like both of them, I was like, I am better at this now. This is great. And it's just, go ahead.
You hit on something that I want to emphasize, which is you guys are hearing us, or past or future, whatever, talking about this and talking excitedly about this. And you might be thinking like, oh, they're just like those guys in the street that are like, I really don't like that much sugar, and I like to, like whatever kind of people. And when you start doing things like this, it becomes genuinely fun to talk about and to do. Like, I actually get excited to go to the gym when like Bear made me a new workout, and I'm super excited every day. Like, oh, I gotta wait till I can rest to go back and tackle it again. And then yeah. And it is actually, and learning to make new kinds of food, learning to feed yourself, learning to look at yourself in the mirror and feel fantastic, and then actually feel fantastic.
You realize how, I mean, I think Bear maybe made this point earlier, like how it comes over into your work. Like if you spend, I mean, go read my article, look at the art, look at the stuff that these guys are posting up. You know, if you just find something simple and easy for yourself to do and do it, you'll start to see improvement. And then you can build on that and you can bring that into your work, right? Like I have found, like all of the work I do has been since going back and really spending some time finding these systems. Because what I've done with my work is found systems that, I mean, I don't know if you don't know my work, you know, I was doing a lot of digital illustration, and now I do these pieces. I don't know if there's anything here I can actually show. It's all in the other room because it's drying. But I do these pieces in resin, and that didn't come out of like sitting down and just, you know, just drawing and going, oh, like I guess I'll just now I'll pour the resin. I had to sit and experiment a lot and see what worked and what didn't, and fail a lot. I have a box here of failed, like all this. I have a box here of like of just like stuff that didn't work. I mean, there's like, you know, I was trying something on to painting on both sides, and that didn't work.
That's another thing. You get really okay with failure when you're working out.
Yeah. But I mean, and that goes for cooking too. Like I love to cook, and I've always loved to cook, but I wasn't really big on recipes. So I could get away with a lot, but now like there's some stuff I can make now that I couldn't make before I started on this like whole workout and art journey. The thing that I could not be more excited about is I figured out how to make chicken wings baked in the oven that are like really, really crispy and delicious. So there's no extra like flour, batter, anything on there. It's just chicken, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, you don't really want to eat chicken wings every day, but like it's hard not to.
I do.
I mean, it's fair. But I also, you know, Jack had a good question on the chat. I don't know if you guys want to talk about the sleep thing.
So Alan, Jack asked the importance of sleep, especially when training. And as a college coach, I'll say we told people to sleep every hour that they weren't training or doing homework. Like rest is majorly important, not just when you're training, but also just in general life. And I know it gets busy, you know, you're going to have your 3-hour nights sometimes, and that's okay. But sleep is a natural process that clears your body of pretty much all of the, we'll call them toxins that you built up during the day.
I don't use toxins.
Well, you know,
no,
generalizing.
Some people need more sleep than others. Some people, anomalies, need a lot less sleep. One thing, knowing that you have to go to sleep and sleep those 8 hours to make your body recover puts you on a schedule that's very important to art and working and everything like that. Yeah, I sleep a lot.
I try to. I mean, I said in the chat, like this past couple of weeks, my son has been going to the summer camp that there's a bus that picks up at like 7 a.m. So hang on, I'm gonna clear my throat. There's a bus that picks up at 7 a.m. So we have to get up just after 6. I have a hard time going to bed before midnight. And there's circadian rhythms that actually make that harder. A lot of creative people, and I found this out from my acupuncturist, a lot of creative people, you may find that you get kind of a second wind after 11 p.m. Like if you actually make it past 11, you'll find yourself up till 2. And that's actually, that's a thing. So my acupuncturist was like, if you try to get yourself to bed, you know, between 10 and 11, you'll actually sleep better. And that even if you get 6 hours at that point, it'll actually be better sleep. That aside, I've been getting up at 6 a.m. with my son. I've been getting, you know, around 5 hours a night, which is not great for me. Some people, I mean, I know Mallory O'Meara, a guest on our podcast, she sleeps about 4 hours a night, 3-4 hours a night, and is like, it actually works for her. She looks great. She feels great. She gets a lot done. I can't do it. So I've been actually measuring. I've been looking at my my metrics, my weight, my body fat. I have a scale, and just how I feel. In the past 2 weeks, since not getting any sleep, I have tendinitis in the elbows a little bit, and that was getting better. It started to get worse. I pulled my hamstring like bad, just running. My body weight was staying even or increasing a little bit every day, and I was eating well, I was doing the exercise, but my body wasn't having the time it needed asleep to heal. I got 8 hours last night, and your mileage may vary, but I got 8 hours last night. Overnight I dropped 3 pounds and about a half a body fat percentage from the couple of days before. I feel great. My leg feels great, which is also everything to do with my acupuncturist yesterday. She like did some things and just like released the whole thing. You know, my arms feel great. I had a workout just before the show that was one of the best I've had in 2 weeks. And so the only thing that changed is I got sleep because my son was sick, so he couldn't go to camp today. Yeah, sleep is a thing. It's not like, you know, it's and if you don't believe this stuff or you think it's hard for anybody, I would say just go out and try any of these things. Just try one of them and see how you feel. Like you'll get like you said, Alan, it's like you start doing it and you're like, that is great. I'm going to do more of that.
Right. You'll see the benefits actually immediately. I am of the incentive that if you don't want to work out 4 days a week, if you don't want to work out 1 day a week, go do one thing today. And just for that 1 day this year, you'll be better than you were. It'll benefit you. It's fine.
During my time in college swimming, I met a great athlete. He was consistently great, and every single day for training, he'd show up at the pool about an hour before practice. He'd put his headphones on. He'd go to a secluded corner of the pool. He'd do his stretches. He'd warm up. He'd sit there by himself every single day. And to I guess not contrast, but relate that, Chuck Close had a great quote where he said, "Today you'll do what you do yesterday. Tomorrow you do what you did today. Eventually you'll get somewhere." And the medium between that is stick to a routine. Find a routine that you're comfortable with, that works for you, and stick to it every single day. And eventually you'll get somewhere.
And getting into it can be hard. I have 2 points I want to make. Getting into it can be hard. When I started going to the gym, Bear came with me, and it was just another thing to wake up and say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym because Bear's going to be there. He's going to work out with me. Find a friend that'll work out with you. And if you don't want to work out with friends and you don't want to work out at the gym, you know, find what works for you is a big part of this podcast right now. And another thing that Mark hit on is you were talking about the aches and pains that come with working out or come with like getting older. Bear sent me, and I think it might be on the outline we talked about, what did you say? You said, a lot of freelancers don't get the benefit of health insurance.
Yeah.
So when you're working out, you can,
great,
you know that, what does it actually say?
You're saving money on healthcare costs, basically.
Because you're healthy.
As a freelance artist, you know, healthcare is, you know, it's a big question mark. But, you know, if you're healthy, if you take care of yourself, less doctor's visits means more money in your pocket at the end of the day. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. But even if you do have insurance in this country,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't really go to the doctor that much, only if like if there's something weird and I want them to look at it, you know. And nowadays, a lot of doctors will actually, you know, email you back, so you can call them or email them, and you know, if it's something simple to talk about, you don't need to schedule a visit. A lot of primary care physicians will actually do that for you.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, like, I know, because I used to be one of those people. Anytime you see something about fitness, you're instantly a skeptic about yourself, in particular about working out, taking the time to do it. One, there's always time. Two, for the price of a lunch, a good lunch, $12 or $24. I'm not sure what the deal is right now. You can get 12 issues of, I've got it over there, a whole collection of Men's Health, which
great magazine,
is an outstanding magazine. You know, sometimes they get a little advertisey, but as far as fitness routines, there's always a new routine, always a new recipe to try, and it's worth it. It really is. Anything like that you can get and read is worth it because it's science to your brain and your body.
Right. And
I'll pick up one of those for a plane flight or something. I don't subscribe, but you know, if I get on a plane, which I'm going to be doing a bit of this month, I'll pick up men's fitness, men's health, maybe a couple other things that are related. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Definitely. We're closing in on the hour mark, but I wanted to say the three of us are working on putting together some documents to put out, and it's going to include home workouts, gym workouts, and a few documents on kind of trusted resources and guidelines, just general information to get you help, get you started. And my last remark really is, as an artist. Oh, I lost my thought. Get it, Alan.
Oh, yeah. Keep up with us on our Facebook page. It's Hanging Out with Bear and Alan, which is the name of our podcast. And we'll post, maybe even today, I think Bear had a podcast, workout that he could post via Dropbox. We were talking about putting some out there on Gumroad, on other apps. And yeah, get back to painting. Get back to work. Why are you watching podcasts?
Yeah, come on, people.
Come on.
We really want to thank Marc Scheff for coming out and joining us. Fantastic for you to join us on our rookie episode.
Any closing words, Marc?
Thank you. Well, no, there is one thing. Someone just mentioned this in the chat. I'll say this. I'll just address this. Those who have kids, get them involved as well. It's healthy. It creates a great bond. 100%. All these Spartan races I was talking about, they have kids races. For those of you who have kids, I go with my son. He does his kids race. I do my race. We both get medals. We'll go get a burger.
Wow.
Like, it's great. I mean, it's like I have this bond with my son. Like we do stuff at home, but it's just not the same. It's like, okay, let's go. It's Saturday. It's like 10 a.m. Let's drive to the thing and run around a bit and get our medal and feel like go home. We have a little rack of our 3 medals each, and it's like it's a thing that he loves totally.
That's awesome.
If you look on my Facebook, I think I've posted some workouts that I do actually with my kid as the weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is great, you guys. I was so honored and happy when you guys asked me to join, and I'm excited about putting some stuff out with you guys to help people out. I'm all about getting rid of these obstacles, these barriers to entry for people, letting people know that like you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to become a fitness guy or fitness woman, but you can be healthy, making some very, very simple changes. You'll feel better, you'll make better work. I think the 3 of us can say without a doubt that's been true for us. And if you want a community that is interested in this stuff, I do run an online Facebook group called, I think if you go to whatever group /freelance fitness, we're there, and it's a supportive community. A lot of knowledge there, a lot of questions get answered there. I'd love to have you guys join, and
sure.
I think that's it. Yeah, thanks so much for having me, you guys. That was great.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marc. And yeah, we'll see you later.
All right, bye everybody.
Next time, guys.
Bye.